Welcome. In this video, we are going to be discussing types of data. Now, like mentioned earlier, in statistics, when studying a population, we sample, and still when we are studying the sample, we collect data from the sample. The data that is usually from a sample or a population is categorized in the same ways, like they are still the same kinds of data. So we have two types. We have what we call qualitative, and we also have what we call quantitative. Now, qualitative data is the data that is used to describe. This one basically describes the attributes or the characteristics of the sample or population. Now, qualitative data is also referred to as categorical data. Why categorical? Because it puts the population in categories. For example, examples of qualitative data or categorical data is the one where we have eye color. So if your research involves you finding out the eye color of the different people in an area, you'd be collecting qualitative or categorical data. We have blood type. We have ethnicity. So all of these are examples of categorical data because they put the population in different categories. Another word to help you understand categorical data is that categorical data is non-numerical. Non-numerical basically means they are not numbers. Now, on the other hand, we have what we call quantitative data. Quantitative data is the one which you would say numerical. And we get quantitative data from counting, or you would say measuring the attributes of the population or the sample. So examples of quantitative data include age, they include weight, they include number of people, they include shoe sizes, they would also include anything that you are going to count or measure about the population is called quantitative data, or basically numerical data. Now, under quantitative data or numerical data, we can still break it down in two other types. The first one is referred to as discrete. So we refer to this as discrete. We refer to this as quantitative discrete data, and the other one would be continuous. Now, discrete is that data that's going to come from counting, and most times it takes on a whole number numerical value. For example, if your research was about the number of phone calls that each teacher receives in a day, you're going to end up with data like 5 phone calls, 7 phone calls, something of the sort. As long as you're counting, you will have whole number data. And continuous, on the other hand, results from measuring the attribute. Now, in measuring, you will most likely have the whole numbers, but include fractions or irrational numbers. So if you measure people's weight, you will have 25.7, you'll have 98.2 along the way. If you measure people's heights, you'll have points in there. So once again, data that we shall be dealing with is categorized first into two, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative being the one that describes the attributes, or we can call it categorical or even non-numerical data. Most times it's a phrase or a word that's describing the attributes of the sample or population. And on the other side is quantitative, which is also called numerical data, that is as a result from counting or measuring the attribute. For example, age, weight, number of people, average salaries in that case. Now, quantitative data is still categorized into two, and that is discrete. Discrete is as a result of counting, and that's the data that takes on a whole number. For example, if you counted the number of phone calls, the number of pairs that someone has, you will be collecting discrete data. And on the other hand, it's continuous. Continuous is as a result of measuring, and because you're measuring, you might have both whole numbers and decimals of fractions. Thank you.